Howdy friendos, I'm TheKrazyJason and I'm heading to Greenville to see Woody Allen's latest movie, Midnight in Paris. That's right. Yes, I was going to see Tree of Life and I didn't feel like driving an hour and a half. And not only that, but I have heard tell that it is coming to the upstate this weekend. Admittedly to the suckiest theater here in Spartanburg, but any theater is better than no theater when it comes to Terrence Malick, in my opinion. I gotta stop by the library and drop off some movies. Because I've been, like I've said before many times, I've been Criterion crazy, and it's not just the Barnes & Noble sale, it's Hulu Plus, which I am going to rant about very soon. I have some big issues with that service. I'm returning The Virgin Spring, which I finally watched, Ingmar Bergman's Virgin Spring, and Lord of the Flies. And I'll be talking about those, what I think of those soon, in a weekly roundup. Damn. They call that convenience? Before I go see the movie, I'm going to go by this little taco place that I enjoy eating at in Greenville. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, Nightmare Hollow. Excuse me, I'm still a little sick. Nightmare Hollow. I don't know if you can see that over there. But that is one of many haunted trails that exist in and around the upstate here, and these haunted trails are fantastic. I've been going to them for ever since I've lived here in the upstate for like 10 years. I've been going to these haunted trails. It's my favorite thing to do during the month of October, and I think this year I'm going to take you guys along with me. Yeah, so you can share in the experience of one of these crazy haunted trails. There is nothing like a genuine, toothless, backwoods, inbred redneck chasing you around with a chainsaw that may or may not still have the blade on it. Here's my opinion about a Woody Allen movie. Here's how I used to go see every Woody Allen movie that came out in the theater. Eating a good meal before going to see a Woody Allen movie. Having, you know, my body physically satisfied before going in to see the movie. Then if that's the case, I guess I need to go to the bathroom and rub one out before I go see the movie too. And, you know, going to see a Woody Allen movie for me is not really a popcorn munching kind of affair. I kind of like to sit back in my seat, you know, and just kind of, you know, stroke my chin. That's where I got to wear this hat too. That's rule number 2. If you're going to see a Woody Allen movie, you have to look like a pseudo-intellectual prick. Woody Allen is a master. He is one of our living legends. One of the greatest directors, in my opinion. Now, he has been repeating himself lately, and even some of the best work he's done in the past 10 years has been repetitive. For instance, Match Point was pretty much just the dramatic side of Crimes and Misdemeanors. I think Crimes and Misdemeanors is one of the greatest films ever made, and but he has said that he hates Crimes and Misdemeanors and felt like he just wanted to do the dramatic part and leave him and the comedy stuff out of it. But I think that's what anchors the movie, in my opinion. But there's an interesting thing to consider. There's a movie that you love, right? That you think, there's a movie you see and it affects you deeply on the inside, and you know you're going to treasure this movie for the rest of your life. And then the filmmaker comes along and says that it's garbage, and he hates it, and it was no good. So let me ask you, does that color your opinion of the movie? It doesn't for me. It doesn't. I still consider it to be a masterpiece. Is there no accounting for taste, even for the filmmaker who made the film? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious on that subject. Of course, every movie that comes out now, the review says Woody Allen's best film in a decade or whatever, Woody Allen's best film in years. They all say that. Why I think this one's going to be good is because not only did it get those kinds of reviews, but the box office has done very well. Last week, I believe it was number 10 at the box office. I'm gonna die! I'm gonna fucking die! So, here is the place of which I spake, Chipotle. Give me some awesome tacos on my belly so I can go see the new Woody Allen film. It's not a movie, it's a film. Because I'm wearing the hat. Nah, the beautiful Hollywood 20 in Greenville, South Carolina. My belly is full, my mouth is burning. I feel happy, I feel good, I'm looking forward to this movie, and I'll let you know what I think when I get out. Okay, folks, well, I'm out of the theater, and I have to say that, you know, good movie. Good job, Woody Allen. I give it a solid B. It's not great, it's not one of his major works, but, you know, put it in the mix of the films he's done in the past 12 to 13 years, and I'd rank it near the top. It's a fluff movie. It's nothing too deep. Nothing, you know. It's basically a romantic comedy. It's a feel-good movie. I came out of it with that good warm feeling in my chest, you know, that I get from a good light Woody Allen movie. Basically, the story is Owen Wilson is this guy, he's engaged, and he's with his fiancée in Paris, and he's a Hollywood screenwriter, but he yearns to be a novelist, and but he hates the era that he lives in, the present day. He wishes that he lived in the past, in the 1920s in Paris, when you had the Fitzgeralds and Ernest Hemingway and Gertrude Stein. And so he gets his wish. This old car shows up one night when he's walking the streets of Paris, and he gets in and it whisks him to the past. It takes him to the 1920s. And he gets to meet all these fabulous people, and he meets this girl, and they sort of start to fall in love. And at the same time, he keeps coming back and forth between the past and the present. And in the present, he begins to have more and more problems with his fiancée because he's discovering that they don't have anything in common, and his fiancée is frankly kind of a bitch. But then in the past, in the 20s, he meets this other girl, and they, you know, like I said, they start to fall in love. Well, this girl has the same idea that he does. She wishes that she lived in an earlier time. So they end up going further back in the past to Belle Epoque. And that's where this girl wants to live. And that's when the Owen Wilson character has this insight that everyone thinks that the era that they're living in is not the best time. And I've had this thought too, and I'm sure many of you have. You know, for me, I think in my prime, I would like to be in the late 60s, early 70s. That period of rebellion in mainstream Hollywood. You know, I'd love to be making a film early, you know, with Scorsese and Lucas and people like that. But yeah, we all think that there was a better time, and that we were born in the wrong era, and that's basically what this movie is about. It doesn't shove it down your throat. It's a light romantic comedy. Everybody's fantastic in it. The acting is great across the board. The cinematography is fine, but it didn't blow me away. I'm not really that impressed with it. He's going, and this was the case with, and it's fine. This was the case with Vicky Cristina Barcelona as well. He's going for more of the golden sort of look, the sun-drenched look, as opposed to some of his earlier films. But you know, those are minor complaints. It's a solid film. It's a good film. If you're a fan of Woody Allen and you've been disappointed with his output of the past decade, I can safely say this is a good one. Alright, so to end this video, I'm going to do something a little different, and you know, I've got my stack of questions here from the Q&A, and it was suggested to me that maybe I should answer a few questions at the end of every video that I make, and I'm not going to do it for every video, but for videos like this, it seems appropriate. I'm still going to sit down and do a proper, you know, sit down and answer the bulk of the questions that way. But there are so many questions, and I'm going to attempt to answer as many as I can. I may have to pick just one or maybe two from those of you who asked multiple questions. And also, if there's a question that's asked over and over again, like how did me and OJ meet, which is a general question a lot of people asked, so I'm just going to go ahead and answer that one first. So yeah, I'm going to sort of do it this way. I'm going to answer some of these questions. Let me go ahead and address how did me and OJ meet. We met at a bed and breakfast in Western North Carolina. That doesn't sound good. We were both working there, and this was back in 2001, and yeah, that's how we met. And at the time I was making a lot of short films and documentaries, and he would both help out behind the scenes and act in some of these films, and so that's kind of how the genesis of all of this came about. Let's see, what else? Groucho69 FUL. What do you feel about all this remaking of classic horror films? Good idea or bad? I don't think it's a good idea or a bad idea. It just is. It's something that Hollywood has found to be financially successful. Oftentimes I'll see that they're remaking this or that. Like, I was just walking out of the theater and I saw the poster for The Thing. I've seen the preview for The Thing, and I think, what's the point? It looks like they're just remaking it beat by beat with different actors. Seems pretty stupid. Then again, there are some remakes that improve upon an idea. Nothing pops to mind at the moment, but yeah. I say generally, I don't like it. If there's a really great film, I don't like to see the idea messed with and redone. But, you know, sometimes, like, for instance, Dawn of the Dead, but that's like comparing apples and oranges. If they take the germ of the idea and they make it their own, and you can enjoy that plus the original together, then it's okay with me. But in general, I don't like it. Which, alright, this question is from 410 Goodfella. Which movies made you cry? Alright, off the top of my head, I can say Cinema Paradiso. If you have seen that movie, the last 5 minutes of that movie where he's sitting there watching the film, the clips of the kissing scenes, that's not giving anything away. If you know what I'm talking about, that always pulls the tears. That's and the other movie, Running on Empty. Running on Empty always, at the end of that film, it always is a tearjerker for me. That movie is very special for me. It's I believe it's on my top shelf DVDs, and yeah, that's a definite tearjerker for me. All right, let's see what else. From Clerking Amy 37, have you ever considered making films yourself? I think I mentioned, and when I was answering the question about how OJ and myself met, yes, and I have made films in the past, short films and documentaries, and it is my greatest desire to be a filmmaker. Always has been. Ever since I was a young wee lad, it's been my desire to be a filmmaker. So yes. From Surfs17up comes, what is your favorite TV show series of all time? It's hard to say one. If I had to pick one, it would be Northern Exposure. I'm a huge Northern Exposure fanatic. I watch the entire series from 1 through 6 once a year. Every year I watch that show. It is food for the soul. From John634, do you have an official mental illness that qualifies you for the title Krazy? Yes, I do. But it's not the only reason why they call me Krazy. Okay, well, I think I'm going to leave it at that for this time. I've answered enough questions for this video. This is a long-ass video. I didn't want it to turn into a Q&A video, but there you go. Thanks for coming along with me on my movie adventure tonight. I'm TheKrazyJason, and you've been in my wacky emporium, baby.